welcome to the Seiko Prospex Challenge exhibition. We are very excited here at James Porter & Son to host this. It's been around Europe, it's been to the boutiques in London and Frankfurt, and now it's come here to the Argyll Arcade in Glasgow. We're very privileged to be able to show you some of Seiko's diver watches right from their very first model up until their most recent offerings. This is the 6217, otherwise known as the 62 Mas. It's Seiko's first attempt at a proper diver's watch. They'd made some attempts before at kind of recreational sports watches that were water resistant to between 30 and 50 meters. So for this watch, they improved the design by changing the markers from a kind of rectangular style to this dot style, which is actually much easier to read at a glance and underwater. And they also widened the hands. The hands are very wide and legible compared to the previous model. And this watch is powered by a high beat movement. It's a movement that runs a lot faster than normal movements. It makes it a lot more shock resistant and a lot more accurate as well. This is the 6159 600 meters professional dive watch. It is the first proper professional dive watch that Seiko made in 1975. It was actually made in response to a letter from a Japanese saturation diver who worked in the oil and gas industry, and he was very critical of Seiko's dive watches and dive watches in general. He said that there weren't any dive watches in the market that could stand up to the kind of harsh environments that he worked in. Main complaints he had were, first of all, if you'd hit a watch off something, like if he was working on the sea floor, if you hit it against a rock, then the watch could just stop. His main problem was when you're in a saturation diving environment, helium can actually penetrate the case of the watch. And when you decompress, when you ascend, the helium inside the case can actually expand, and that can have the unfortunate effect of either cracking the glass or popping it completely off the watch. So Seiko wanted to address all of the concerns that divers had with their previous watches. So the first main thing was to come up with this very unusual outer case which protects the watch from shock. It protects the inner case in case you were to hit it against something. And that also, it's titanium and it's coated with ceramic, which is very scratch resistant. And it also features a inner ring around the crystal, which prevents the crystal from coming loose in case that you were to hit it against something, or in the unlikely event that helium was to penetrate the watch, there's no way the glass can come loose during decompression. This is actually known affectionately by fans as the tuna can because of its unusual shape with this protective outer casing. And it also features another innovation, which is that the glass is actually held down by a locking ring. So even in the unlikely event that helium did penetrate the watch, and if you decompressed, the crystal's not going anywhere, it's held down. There's no chance it's going to pop off like other dive watches at the time. Seiko's Prospex line stands for professional specifications. It's a range of watches made for a wide range of professional applications, including divers' watches, pilot watches, and it's made to be what Seiko calls reality-proof. It's for people who need professional tools that they can rely on. And it ranges from pilot watches that have slide rules, you can make calculations when you're flying, and of course their diver range, which include a wide range of really professional tools for divers to use. From a very basic automatic diver, 200 meters water resistant, right up to their most professional line, the Marine Master line, culminating in the 1,000 meter saturation diver, otherwise known as the Emperor Tuna. The Prospex line is a very interesting range because it includes watches that can be worn just as an everyday watch, people who just like the style of a dive watch, for example, right up to people who need professional tools, for example, professional divers who need a watch they can rely upon and that's not going to fail when they really need it. And if you love Seiko watches, then just come down to James Porter & Son and we'll be more than happy to introduce you to the brand.